This is the Asus Eee Transformer Prime TF201 screen repair guide brought to you by Repairers Universe. Performance repair, we're going to use a few tools including a safe open pry tool, a small Phillips screwdriver, and adhesive strips if you're replacing the touchscreen. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the device is fully powered off. From there, we're just going to begin using our safe open pry tool and just pry along the outside edges here, releasing some of those clips, holding that back cover to the screen assembly. Be cautious not to shove your pry tool too deep inside, as you don't want to damage any of the internal components. But continue just working your way along the outside edge, just releasing those clips. Just continue to pry in that seam. The clips are usually not too sturdy on this device, so you don't have to worry about applying too much pressure. Once you have a corner or a grip area like this right here, it makes it much easier. And as you can see, it's coming apart very nicely now. And just release some of those final clips. Now you want to be very careful, because as you remove the screen assembly from the device, it's still going to be connected with two flex cables. So you want to be very careful, as you want to release all these cables before you remove the screen assembly. So the touchscreen flex cable and the LCD screen flex cable, this is a touchscreen here. It's going to have two jaw connectors. Just lift the black tab and then remove the flex cable. I'm just going to flip this around so we can get at the LCD flex cable here. And as you can see, it's just another jaw connector connected to the back of the LCD screen. So just use your safe open pry tool and lift up that black tab and pull the flex cable out. So there we go. We have the main components on the left and then the screens on the right. So to begin removing the screens, there's going to be a few things we need to do, including remove two small Phillips screws located in those areas there. Once these screws are removed, we're now ready to apply a little bit of heat, as the LCD screen is bonded to the touchscreen using a little bit of adhesive. So using a heat gun or a hairdryer will loosen up that adhesive and make it a little bit softer, so you won't damage the LCD screen when trying to remove it. Just work your way around all the outside edges here. These quick movements, don't stay in one spot for too long. Usually takes about 30 to 45 seconds to properly heat this. Once it's done, it should be very easy to begin at certain locations along the outside border here. Just using your pry tool and getting underneath the LCD screen. Be sure to remove any tape like this one here as well. So here we go, just starting to release some of that adhesive, holding the LCD screen to the touchscreen. If your LCD screen is undamaged and you're just replacing the touchscreen, you want to be very careful, as you do not want to damage that LCD screen, because it is very fragile because of its large size. As you see, we can see a little bit of gap right there between the LCD and the touchscreen now. Just going to continue working our way around the outside edges. I'm just going to speed it up here a little bit. As you can see, the adhesive is coming up quite nicely. I want to be careful of that touchscreen flex cable as well. Going to continue prying and just releasing that adhesive. If the adhesive becomes too stubborn, we highly suggest hitting it again with the heat gun or hairdryer. This will soften up that adhesive again, making it much easier to separate the screens. So as you can see, we almost got the LCD screen fully off the touchscreen here. We're just going to apply a little bit more heat in this corner here. And now we should be able to fully remove the LCD from the touchscreen. And there we go. There's the LCD screen separated from the touchscreen here. Take note of the adhesive hanging on the LCD screen here. That's what's holding it onto the touchscreen. If you were to remove the touchscreen, these are the next steps that you'd have to take. You'll need to remove the plastic housing here, and to do that we're just going to use a heat gun or hairdryer again and just warm the adhesive holding the touchscreen and out to this front housing. You want to be very careful here as that housing is very thin plastic, so you don't want to overheat because you have a chance of melting it or making it very malleable to the point where it can break. So you just want to use small amounts of heat and continue reheating as necessary. Now the toughest part about getting the touchscreen away from the frame is just the initial entry point, which can be a little bit of a pain, so you're just going to need to find a way to leverage your pry tool underneath that adhesive and the touchscreen. There's also a few areas on this bezel that are very, very thin, and you want to make sure that you take special care when releasing those areas before you crack that housing. So there we go, we're releasing some of that adhesive. We can't fully remove the top yet, but it's getting there. On both the sides is where there's a lot of that thin frame, so just be very cautious around those sides. Like I said, reheat more often in this location because you don't want to overheat that bezel. So just take your time when doing this. As you can see, it just makes it so much easier to slide your pry tool through once the adhesive is properly warmed. So this is one of those trouble areas here. I'm just going to make sure I separate that adhesive from the housing. Then carefully lift that skinny part up and then continue working our way around. This device uses a lot of adhesive to hold the frame to the touchscreen, so keep that in mind when you're about to replace your own, that you'll need extra adhesive. And there we go, the frame's almost completely released. And there we go. So as the frame removed from the touchscreen digitizer here, as you can see, all the black is adhesive, so there's a ton of adhesive holding that screen in place. Luckily it's not too strong of adhesive, just make sure you continue to heat it with the heat gun. So there you go, that's how you remove the touchscreen from the frame. All the tools and parts used in this video can also be found at repairsuniverse.com. If you found this video useful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and also be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching.